I want to assume that everybody here has at least an idea of what product management is about, right? I want to assume, but if you do not, we can just briefly touch on it sometime during the session. Okay, so what I'll be doing for us today is to give us 10 no-fail steps to start and build a PM career. I should have added successful on this screen because it's not enough to just build any career, right? We want to build very successful careers. So I'll be giving us 10 no-fail steps to start and build our career. Okay, but before we get right into this, I want to ask a question. So if you could improve one everyday product or process in your life right now, it could be an app, it could be, a government process, it could be a school process, it could be anything at all, right? Anything around you. If you could improve it, how would you do it? What would you change and why would you change it? I'm going to need somebody to answer that for me. It could be anything. It doesn't even have to be that serious, right? It doesn't have to be a very serious thing. So just feel free and tell me what you would change and, why you would change it. Okay. I'm not sure. I don't want to butcher your name. I don't want to butcher your name, but the person raising up their hand can go.
Yeah, please, if you put up your hand, please, can you put it up again so that I can, make you mute your mic? Please just put it up again so that I can see you. Okay, good. Just done. Yeah, it's you. Okay, good. So I'll make you a call when you ask the question, then I'll put it, down back, please. So I just needed to do this so that we moderate the session because of scammers and the rest on the call.
That's all right.
Yeah, so just hold on while I look for her. Yeah, please, you can go ahead. I think I've made you a host and you can speak now.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. Okay, so the name is Lemeke. I just said let me see. Yeah, so I think Lemeke, yeah, that's my name. So I think one option I would say is people that enter bus every morning. So I'll make it such that is an online offline because sometimes standing in traffic and the way buses just increase price at every instant. So I'll make it an app so that both the educated and the non-educated can easily just, even though it might be rough at first, but just the point of using your phone to say, okay, I'm going to Yaba, which bus will I enter? Instead of standing every day looking for bus, like just to make everyday life easier. Because the way bosses is to charge them, yeah, that is a trade.
That's actually a very brilliant answer. If I heard correctly, so you think there's a problem with how people currently board public transports and you want to digitize that process, right? That's a very brilliant answer. Does anybody else want to go? Thank you very much, Limeke. I hope I got that right. Thank you very much. Does anybody else want to go? Just tell me anything at all that you have noticed is a problem with a product or a process and what you would change and why you would change it. We are many on this call now, guys.
Yeah, so guys, I know that we can't unmute our mics, right? So, but please put up your hand and I'll make you call so that we can speak. I think that will be the best that will be done, okay? So please put up your hands. Use the raise hand icon on the bottom part of your screen and, just put up your hands, or you can put it in the chat. So let's make the, the session actually interesting. Okay, good. Justin, I'm going to make you an admin, yes, shortly so that you can, ask the question. Yes, go ahead.
Anybody is shy, you can just drop a comment. I would actually appreciate that if you drop a comment. I would read your comments, out if you're not able to speak. Okay. Justin, you can go. Is Justin still with us?
Yes, I'm here, but I didn't really get the question properly due to my network.
Okay, let me just run that again. So I've just asked if you could improve one product that you use every day or a process that you go through, what would you improve and why? Why would you improve it?
Okay. First and foremost, I would. I'm not an expert here, but with just my common sense, I would look at the branding. For instance, now.
Let me go over my question. Let me go over my question again so you understand it. And
All right.
you know, in case anybody else is having the same confusion, I'm not looking for an expert answer. So I'm saying Limeke answered the question a few minutes ago, right? I'm not talking about, you know, like give me a product answer or something. I'm just saying, oh, is there any process that you go through every day? It could be something that happens at work or something that happens, you know, at school if you're studying, right? Just any process at all that you go through, or if it's even a product, any product that you use that you're like, yeah, I don't like this thing about this product. And this is what I would do to change it. Or I don't like this thing about this process. This is what I would do to change. Ooh, somebody had dropped me a comment. Okay. Love to see it. Okay. I would stop trailers from moving in the morning. They will only move at midnight because of the rate of traffic and accident. That's a very brilliant answer. That's a very brilliant answer. Thank you. Amanda has her hand up.
Yeah, Amanda, you can go on. I've made you a host so you can speak.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I actually just joined. I hope I got the question correctly. So if I would change anything, it would be how staff are being treated in their place of work. And so just basically saying to change or to look into the staff welfareism. Some staff are being treated poorly, and it would really be nice if they do better to understand that these are people, although they are working to gain money or whatever, but they should also be treated nicely. And I think they need to change this narrative of the clients being the king and stuff. They need to find another way to go around it and stop making the staff feel less of themselves. Yeah. Thank you.
That's also a very brilliant answer. Thank you, Amanda. Precious said in the comments, I would like to make healthcare easily accessible. Not all illnesses require going to the hospital. So I'll likely develop an application where people can get in touch with health professionals, share their symptoms, and either get referred to the hospital or are attended to based on the symptoms they present. This is a very smart class. This is a very smart class. Okay. So if you were able to answer this question, or even if you did not answer and you sort of like thought about an answer in your mind, but you were too shy to speak or drop a comment, I just want to know that you have basically just done what a product manager does, right? You have done the job of a product manager. Toby says, I want to change the Bolt app. We should be able to order light snacks and have the driver bring them to us so we can snack on our trip. You guys are really funny. Okay, thank you very much, Toby Chukwu. Right, so what you have basically just done now is you have done the work of a product manager, right? Now, the reason why I had to bring this in is to show you guys that product management is really just about identifying problems and preferring solutions to those problems, right? So if you can sit down and perceive a problem, you can sit down and think about one problem that you're experiencing and you can find a solution to it, which is literally what we have just done, then you can be a product manager and you can be a successful one at that. All right, so let's go ahead, in this session. I've not introduced myself yet, so I'm just going to do that very quickly. My name is Jedida Okonkwo. I'm a software product manager with 4 years of experience in, software product management. Right. I started my product management career after a failed startup. So that's a fun story. I was actually a startup founder for years. I was building a food delivery app before food delivery apps became a thing. And, on the side, we also included a logistics and e-commerce solution. And that ran for a little over 2 years before it unfortunately took a bad turn and had to close down. Right. So after, that venture field, I was just thinking about, what I wanted to do with my life next and what I was really good at. And I spoke to a couple of people around, and one of the things that people kept telling me is, "What comes easily to you?" Who is laughing? Who is laughing? I hope it's not my failed venture you're laughing at, or is it the comments? Okay, I hope it's the comments, right? So, yes, I had decided to move on. And, one of the things I found myself doing before I even became a product manager was I was doing a lot of product work. I was speaking to users, I was identifying problems, I was preferring solution. And, I had my career like that. And, it's been 4 years down the line now, and it's been an amazing journey. Right. So that's my origin story. And I live in Lagos, Nigeria. Right. So, again, I said earlier in the class that I imagine that if you're here today, then you at least know what product management is about, right? So this class is not about, what product management is and, knowledge about product management. Is really about, okay, I have an idea about this thing, but I don't know how to start my career. I don't know how to build a successful career in product management. But just in case there are a couple of people here who do not exactly have an idea or a full idea of product management, I would want to know that. So is there anybody that doesn't know what product management is in this class? Please answer me in the next 10 seconds. Is there anybody in this class that has no idea what product management is? Yes, so that you don't know what product management is. Okay, amazing. Yes, so only 2 people. We're about 60, over 60 on this call. And we're over 60 on this call, and less than 10 people said they don't know what product management is. The implication is that there are over 50 people on this call who know exactly what product management is, right? So those people are going to help us out. Now, if you did not drop a comment that you don't know what product management is about, look at them now. Look at them now, all dropping comments. Okay, so for the people that did not drop the comment that they don't know what it's about, can you tell us what product management is about? Right, just the answer doesn't have to be a perfect one. I'm really not looking for perfect answers. And quite frankly, I don't think there's a perfect answer to what product management is, right? So if you have an idea what it's about and you want to share with us, please signify by raising up your hand or dropping a comment for me. And if you're dropping a comment, don't drop ChatGPT answer for me, because I will know, right? I want something just original, lax, laid back. Just tell me in your own words what you think product management is about. Let's do that very quickly. Is anybody raising up their hand? I love interactive classes.
Yeah,
And
I think someone put a comment in the chat. He did that.
Someone
So you might want to read that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Annie Gold usuals. Product management is basically identifying problems and bringing solutions to the problem. Annie, you stole my answer. I'm not going to agree you. Annie, I'm not going to agree, because I literally just gave that answer a few, minutes ago. So I will not agree. Does anybody want to try? Does anybody else want to try?
Ololade, you can go ahead. I've made you a course. You can, go ahead to commute.
Okay. I picked the answer and understood it. Okay, fair enough. You know what? Fair game. Fair game, if it's that one. Right.
Yeah,
So
Olalani, over to you, or Adebayo, you can go ahead. If Adebayo is not speaking, then Becky, you can just go ahead. I've made you guys host already, so you can unmute.
Okay, hello. Okay, can you hear me now? This is Ololade. Okay, hello.
Yes, yes, we can, please.
Okay, I think I don't want to sound funny, but I just feel that's the only meaning I know from the word project management, the art of managing products, production or processes. That's production processes. So from the word product management, that's just that's my own like a layman definition.
mhm. That's a good
Management
answer.
of products, like the art of managing products, product process, like product management, managing of production.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Olulade. Blessing says product management is about identifying, planning, testing, executing, and launching a product into the market. Brilliant answer. That's a very brilliant answer. So you've basically just run us through the software development process, right? A product manager is just going to be guiding the software development process, going to identify problems, plan, test, execute, and launch a product into the market. That's an amazing. Does anybody else? People have their hands up now. You can go for it if you have been given the post status. Please go ahead.
Can I go on?
Yeah,
Yes,
Becky,
please.
please go ahead. I think Becky
Yeah,
or
I
Adebayo,
think
yes, go
product
ahead.
management has to do with how our stages, the act of product management, our stages in the world, like from the very beginning, from the production, even before the production, the work of a product manager starts right from the beginning, even before production, then to the production stage, and even till post-production stage. So this, the work of a product management, of a product manager, cut across from the initial stage of a product to the final stage.
Thank you very much, Adebayo. That's a very brilliant answer as well. Becky, do you want to go for it?
Oh, hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Jedida. So, to me, product management is basically the management of product, right from beginning of ideation to design to implementation to testing and also launching into the market. And also, it involves post-launch, just as last speaker said. I mean, there are some sort of growth and monitoring in product management. So it's not just about putting a product into the market and abandoning it. Let's think about it as our baby. And even after we've given birth to this baby, we have to take care of it.
I love that analogy. Thinking of a product as a baby, right? So you care for it before it's born, and then you care for it even after it's born. That's amazing. I like to think about my product as my babies too. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Nena, do you want to go for it?
Yeah, let's have Tobechuku and Precious before Nina. Tobechuku.
Oh, okay. Tobechuku, you can go for it.
Yeah, so I think yeah, they've answered like most of what I wanted to say. So product management is just basically thinking about the products and doing some strategic planning on this product and following through with like the development of this product to the launching of this product and basically trying to meet like customer goals because like you need people that are going to use this product and also business goals because we have the business trying to like make money or trying to provide some services. So having to follow all that product life cycle from the beginning like to the end. And then, yeah, so that's basically like what I think about when I think of product management.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tobechuku. Precious, let's have you.
To me, project management is just like an events planner, like someone that takes the guest list, the DJs, and all that. And even when there is chaos, you still keep calm just to make sure everything goes as planned.
Okay. Okay. That's really good. Thank you very much. And lastly, we would have two people. Okay, let's have Neka.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, so I have some fashion experience, right? And in fashion, we have someone called the production manager, right? And for a production manager, what they do is they take in the design that we're trying to create, and then they go communicate it to the tailors, right? Now the tailors are now supposed to interpret the design. Now communication comes key in this kind of situation, because if I go in as a production manager and say, what we're making a skirt, right? When the brief I got from the design team is that we're making a dress, that's where communication is already, we've lost communication there. So a product manager must understand what is being created, must also follow the process to be sure that the tailors, I'm just using a fashion house to explain that, make sure that the tailors understand what we're trying to make, right? And create exactly, what we're trying to make. So I think production management is about taking taking our goal, right, interpreting it the way it ought to be interpreted, which means that corrections will be made as we proceed, but also making sure that the goal is met. That's people management, resource management, making sure to let us know, oh, we don't have this color of zip, we don't have this color of thread. And in a tech world, we say, oh, we probably need, I don't know, data, Wi-Fi, I don't know, stuff like that anyways. But yeah, I think that's what production manager or product management would be. Yes, thank you.
I think that, Nina, I think you're going to make a very brilliant product manager, because from your response, I could already see how you are transferring your knowledge from your industry to the, tech space. And that's exactly what you need to start, a tech career generally, or a career in product, management. You're going to need to highlight your transferable skills and, just convince whoever you're speaking to that you can transfer those skills into the product space. And I also follow your work. I think you're an amazing fashion designer, right? So well done, and thank you for that response. So I won't be taking any more responses because I want us to just go on ahead. All right, so down to the matter. What I will be doing here tonight is to give you 10 no-fail steps to start and build your PM career. I could have said 10 steps, but I had to say no fail because I know for a fact that if you apply every of these steps, now I'm not saying do one and then do the other. I'm saying if you apply every single one of these steps, you will be able to not just start, but also build a very successful career in product management. And that's coming from me who, I can say has built a successful career for myself, even though I say so myself, right? But just, stick with us as we go through these 10 steps. Okay. So I'll just be taking them one after the other so that we can digest every, one of them in bits. So my number one no-fail step, if you want to start and build your PM career, is to understand, what product management is, right? And that is what I tried to, get the pulse of a few minutes ago. And I said everybody should tell me what they think product management is, right? You cannot start a career in product management if you do not have an understanding of what it is. And when I say understanding, I mean, I'm not saying from definitions. I'm not saying, or they ask me what's a product manager, say a product manager is a mini CEO or CEO of the product. I mean, that's an answer to what product management is, to be fair, right? But when I hear responses like that, and I'm glad nobody said that, on this call, when I hear responses like that, it just makes me feel like you are just saying what you have heard that product management is without internalizing what product management truly is, right? So the first step you want to take as somebody who wants to start a product management career is to understand deeply what product management is, right? And what I want to do on this call, in the next few minutes, is to help you understand. Even if I explain product management for the next 1 hour, you are not going to fully internalize it until you start doing, product management, like start doing the work or start going deeper in your research. But I'm just going to try to make you, have like a base understanding that you can build on moving forward, right? So product management is the practice of guiding a product from idea to launch and beyond, right? And this speaks to one of the responses that someone gave earlier in the class when they said, oh, you give birth to a baby, you don't just throw your baby away after you have launched, right? You have to take care of the product even to the very end. That's the reason why there's a key difference between a product life cycle and a product development life cycle. So a mistake a lot of people make is that they think that product management stops at the end of the product development life cycle, right? So there's actually the product life cycle, right? So, product management is the practice of guiding a product from ideation to launch and beyond, right? As a product manager, you want to identify problems and work with teams to build solutions. I've said this earlier when we said, well, product management is about identifying problems, and preferring. One important thing to note about this point is the fact that you would need to work with different teams to build this solution, right? So it's not about just knowing what the problems is, about being able to sit down with your designers, sit down with your developers, sit down with the marketing team, sit down with business and say, guys, this is the problem we want to solve. How are we going to solve it? What are we going to build? How are we going to build it? How are we going to monetize this? How are we going to make the amazing, right? So those are things that you're going to do as a product manager. One common, response I always get to what product management is, people draw a Venn diagram and put product management in the middle. So you see a Venn diagram with business, with technology, and UI UX, right? And quite frankly, it's a perfect depiction of where product managers sit, right? So product managers sit in the intersection between business, technology, and user experience, right? So a product manager is also responsible for crafting the vision and strategy for the product, right? So if you are going to take anything away from tonight's class, is to know that while the engineers are seeing features, right? They're saying, oh, we're going to build an app that helps people book, public transport before they get to the road. Your engineers are thinking about how it's going to happen, like how they're going to build it, right? They're thinking about lines of code. You as the product manager, you're going to think about how that problem is going to be solved. You're going to think about the users. You're going to think about, you're thinking about the strategy. You're thinking about the end, right? So everybody else on the team might be short-sighted about the product, but a product manager cannot afford to be short-sighted, right? The product manager is going to have to think, think about it from the beginning, go to the middle and see where that product is going to be at, go to the end and say, when we're done building, this is, how I want the market to receive it. This is the strategy that I want to use to push this, product. There's something called go-to-market strategy, right? So you're going to, guys, if you're dropping me comments or anything, I'm on the screen of the presentation. So, oh, I just saw a comment now. I'll answer questions at the end of the class, but you can just drop them in the comment section so that you don't forget. Right, but Elijah, if there is anything that needs immediate attention that somebody has dropped in the comments, please just, unmute and come at, because I'm not exactly on this page. Okay. Right, so a product manager is in charge of the vision and the strategy of the product, right? The product manager is going to make the decision on what to build, why we're building it, and when we're going to build it, right? So this point speaks to, so you're going to define what to build. So somebody can come and meet you, a stakeholder can come and meet you and give you an idea of oh, this is what we want to build. We want to build, flying cars or whatever, and you're the one who's going to sit down as product manager and say, you know what, that's an amazing plan, but this is what goes to MVP, right? So you're going to decide what you're going to build at that point. You're going to decide why are we building. You have to have the answer, the whys, right? You have to have the answer of why you are building that product and when you are going to push certain, product features, right? So a product manager is also going to prioritize features, by balancing the user's needs, technical feasibility and the business goals at that time, right? I don't want to go see every point I'm stating here is like an entire topic in product management. If we talk about balancing user needs now, if we start talking about user needs now, that's an entire topic on its own. You want to start talking about prioritizing and prioritization techniques, that is an entire topic on its own. So this is all surface level, guys. I would expect that after this class, we go, deep into our corners and learn more about every point that has been said. So it will make a lot of sense if you could just take notes as I'm speaking. Right, so I mentioned collaboration. PMs collaborate with designers, engineers, marketers. Basically, coordinating an orchestra, right? That's another very popular analogy that people use, that a PM is like the person coordinating an orchestra, right? So you're also going to need to be very familiar with data, right, as a product manager, because it's data that you're going to use. Data and feedback is what you're going to use to get to make informed decisions, right? So all of these things lead to the first step to starting and building your product management career, right? You will go deep into your corner and go and understand what product management truly is about. Product management does not start and end with product documentation. Product management is not just about writing PRDs, writing MRDs, and all of those things, right? Product management, market research is there, stakeholder management is there, using data, gathering feedback, all of those things is what makes up a very great product manager. So if you know that you want to start a product management career, the first thing you go and do is sit down and find, try to understand exactly what product management is. And I think you're in the right place, to be fair. I went through Ustackschool's, pages. I went through the curriculum and everything, and I think they're doing an amazing job. So you being here just shows that you're taking the right step, in building your career, because you're in safe hands. And I know that somebody's clapping. That's amazing. I love reactions like that. Okay, so you're in safe hands, and the fact that you're here is a very good sign. You're all serious-minded people. And I know that if you stay grounded and you stay consistent with Ustackschool, you'll be able to understand fully and get a full grasp of the understanding of product management. Okay, so that takes us to the next step. Right now, you have understood what product management is, which is the foundation of everything. You can now confidently say, yes, I understand what product management is. What's the next thing for me? Now, one interesting thing that is going to happen to you when you have a very good understanding of what product management is you are going to see the lapses in your skill sets, right? There are different phases of acquiring knowledge. And there's one phase, what is that thing called? I think it's called conscious ignorance or something like that. You have gotten to the point where you know that, I don't know. You have gotten to the point that you know that there's a knowledge gap that you have, right? So that is where you are going to be at once you have had a deep understanding of what product management is. You're going to need to learn the core skills that you need to succeed as a product manager, right? So, I'm just going to quickly breeze through some of those core skills that you're going to need to succeed as a product manager, right? So you're going to need to develop a strong problem-solving and critical thinking skill, right? So if there's one thing that I've said over and over again on this call, it is that product managers, for you to identify problems and solve them, you are going to need to have problem solving skills, right? Critical thinking skills, because problems would not always be staring at you. If problems are just, so when I say problems will not always be staring at you, I mean, not all problems are always very obvious, right? Not all problems are always very obvious. In fact, one thing you're going to notice as a product manager is that a lot of users don't even know, a lot of customers don't even know that they have a problem until you identify the problem yourself and give them the solution to it. So when you give them the solution to, they now, switch and realize that we have been suffering all this while. It was Ford that said one time that if he had asked people of his time what they wanted for transportation, they would have said they wanted faster horses. But did he give them faster horses? No, he did not. He gave them cars, right? So you're going to need to sit down and start thinking about problems that people are solving. Of course, you're also going to need to speak to users, right? But you're not speaking to users for them to tell you, I'm having a problem with this one. It will not always be that simple. Sometimes you need to read between the lines and sort of just think, this is a pain point that they don't even realize that, they are experiencing, right? So another core skill that you're going to need to learn as a product manager or as a product person is data skills, right? You're going to need to be very good with your data. You're going to need to be very good with your data. You don't need to be like a data scientist or like a core data guru, but you're going to need to be able to integrate data tools. And when I say integrate, I don't mean you are the one that is doing the integration by yourself. Of course, your engineers are going to do that for you, right? If you have those in your company. But you're going to need to be very familiar with integration tools like Hotjar, like Microsoft Clarity, like Google Analytics. You're going to need to be able to use those to identify patterns, identify trends, identify pain points. You're going to need to be able to say, it looks like users, drop off, at this particular point whenever they get to this app, right? This is a very, recurring drop-off point. When, or you can notice something like, we noticed that a lot of users sign up but don't eventually go ahead to use the product, right? Or you might notice that a lot of users are rage clicking at this point, right? So you're going to need to be very, very familiar with your data, in order to make informed decisions, right? So another skill you're going to need to have is product strategy. When you get all of this data, you're going to need to be able to sit down and strategize and say, this is how we are going to market, right? This is how we're expanding to different countries. This is how we're acquiring more users. This is how we are ensuring customer retention, right? These are things that you're going to have to sit down and strategize. Nobody's going to do that for you. Your engineers are not going to sit down with you and be doing, this is how we're going to go to market. Their own job is to make sure that this thing is built, right? Your designer just wants to ensure user experience, right? Your business people just want to sell, right? They want to sell the product, but they're going to need your help to be able to craft a product that is even sellable, right? So you're going to need to be very good with product strategy. It goes without saying that you have to have excellent communication and collaboration skills, right? You cannot be a quiet product manager, even if you are quiet in your real life. You cannot be like a reserved or quiet product manager, because you're going to need to communicate a lot with stakeholders. You're going to need to speak to your engineers, negotiate timelines with them. You're going to need to convince people to do what they don't want to do. There are times when business people are going to come and tell you something that you are the one that has spoken to the users. You know that this thing that they are saying is going to ruin this company, or is going to bring about an adverse effect, right? You're going to need to be able to convince them. So these are skills that you're going to need to be able to pick up, right? Some of these skills, as you have heard, are soft skills, but they're also, hard skills that you're going to need to, get. Of course, you're going to need to be able to do market research, documentation and stakeholder management. So these are very important things that you are going to need to pick up as a product manager. Step one, I said, go and understand what product management is before you even say you want to start building career. Step 2 is, I've highlighted some of these skills for you here, the core skills that you need to learn. But you can also go, on your own and go and identify. I know that Ustackschool is going to help you guys with that. If it's not already in your materials, I'm sure that it would be something that would be communicated with you guys or taught to you guys later down the line. But you're going to need to identify all those core skills that's going to make an amazing product manager, and you're going to need to start learning all of them one by one if you want to start and build a successful product management career. Right. So next step that you're going to need to take to be successful at product management is to create a career plan. Right. You're going to need to create a career plan. So, I don't know if you guys know that there are different types of product managers. In my introduction earlier, I said, hi guys, I'm Jedida Okonkwo, a software product manager. The implication of that is there are hardware product managers, right? So there are different types of product managers. There are product managers in Apple who manage this. And I don't even mean the software. I'm not talking about the software in the Apple phone. I'm talking about this device, right? There are people managing the production of this, right? There are product managers in Tesla, right? So don't limit your thinking to software product management, right? You can go ahead and do research on the different kinds of product management and or different kind of product managers that there are, and decide what you want to be. Now, when you are creating your plan, I would advise that you create it loosely. Right. I'm not saying that when you're crafting this plan, you say, I'm going to become a hardware product manager and that is it. I'm not interested in anything software. Of course, you can't do that. But I always advise that you just have like a loose plan, a loose sketch, like a rough sketch. You know what? I want to be a software product manager. I want to be a hardware product manager. I want to be an API product manager, right? Another thing I would want you to highlight in this career plan that you're creating is the industry that interests you. The top 3 industries that interest you. Do you like fintech? Do you currently work in fintech? If it's not even that you're a product manager there, you can be a customer support professional there, right? Or you can be an operations manager there. Or do you like fintech? Do you like edtech? Do you like e-commerce? All of these things. Just identify the industries that you are passionate about, the industries that interest you. The reason why it's important to do this is because it will help you stay motivated when the going gets tough, right? If you are doing product management and it becomes boring along the way or it becomes hard, it might be because you're diving into bits and pieces that you're not exactly interested in or you're not exactly passionate about, right? So you just want to highlight what industry interests you. Another thing that you're going to need to do when you're creating your career plan is to identify transferable skills from wherever you are right now. And I promise you guys, there are always transferable skills, no matter which work you are doing. In fact, I can run a practical right now to tell me where you currently work or what you're currently doing, and I will be able to highlight the transferable skills. But I don't want us to waste so much time because we're just on the 4th step and we're going to number 10, right? Or you can have a conversation with your bestie, ChatGPT, right? Go to ChatGPT and say, guys or guy, I'm a plumber, right? What are the transferable skills I can transfer from plumbing work to product management? I promise you, there will be something. There will be something that you can actually transfer, right? There'll be something that you can actually. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. There'll be something that you can actually transfer, in whatever industry you work in. So when you're creating your career plan, make sure you highlight all the transferable skills that you have. Whether it might even be that you are still a student, you don't have to be, doing a job right now. It can be that you're a business person. There will always be transferable skills that you can transfer to product management. If it is not even in your day job or what you're currently doing, like you're schooling or you're a stay-at-home mom or something. It could even be in your hobbies, right? There would be hobbies that sort of translate to, product management, right? So the next thing you want to do while you're creating your career plan is to assess your current environment, right? Assess your current environment. What am I currently doing? Am I working at the bank? Am I running my own business? Am I in school? Am I the secretary at church, right? Assess your current environment and use it to gain product experience. We're going to touch on that shortly, right? Just hold that one, right? So when you're creating your career plan, just set, short-term goals, like a 3 to 6 month goal. If you're doing like a 6-month goal, your first 2 months can be, taking a course, right, at Ustackschool. You can be taking a course at Ustackschool, and then when you're done, you're going to start with this internship, or you're going to do something, or just create that plan, a short-term plan and a long-term plan, such that if they wake you up at night, that Alpha, what's your plan for product management? You should be able to say, guys, my plan is that, I'm going to finish this course at Ustackschool, and then I'm going to volunteer at this place, or I'm going to do this internship and all of that, right? So just create that plan, immediately. Next step that you are going to need to take, that is step 4 of starting and building your product career, is to actually become a product manager. And that's such a funny step, right? Because you're like, guy, I'm here because I don't know how to start, and I want to know how to start, and you're telling me go and become a product manager. So just sit back and let me explain what that means. Product management is something that you can start doing immediately, right? I asked a question earlier. I said, identify, one product or process that you currently go through, identify the problem and tell me how you would improve it. And some people answered the question, right? That's literally what product management is about. Don't wait for the title. Wherever it is that you're at, become a product manager there. Don't say, it's until I get my first product management job, that's when I'm going to become a product manager. No. If I were you guys, I'll change my LinkedIn role to product manager, right? I'm going to change this immediately, and I will get up tomorrow and start doing product stuff, right? If it is catering I'm going to start approaching catering like a product manager, right? I'm going to identify, what my users need, even if the users are my family. If I'm cooking dinner, I'm going to identify, what it is that they need. I'm going to cook meals and take feedback from them. This is product mindset that you can start applying immediately, right? You do something for somebody and you say, please give me feedback, and the person gives you feedback, and you go and iterate on that particular thing that you did, right? It can also be around planning and making a list, something that is like a roadmap. Do you understand? These are things that you can start, like you can literally become a product manager tonight by starting product work. Just start doing product work in your current role. So if you're in school, if you work at your local church, if you are a stay-at-home mom, if you have your current job, just start doing product work there. Identify problems around you and start thinking of solutions to improve, those problems, right? Another thing you want to do is, start volunteering, right? I hate to break it to you guys. Nobody likes an inexperienced product manager. Nobody wants to hire an inexperienced product manager, because product is something that we don't have a lot of it in it. So a company can have 5 engineers and just 1 product manager, right? And these engineers can be senior engineers, mid-level engineers, senior UI UX designers, right? They don't want a newbie, right? So you're going to need to gain your first role experience. And I know that sounds very contradictory, right? But guys, by the time you're getting your first paid role, you actually have to be an experience, like you have to go there like somebody that knows what they're doing. You have to go there like, yeah, I'm an experienced product manager. So how exactly do you gain this experience? I've already said it. Start doing product work from wherever it is that you are. When you're writing your CV, you would be highlighting things, you know, that are transferable from where you currently are, right? Don't wait for the title. Just start. Volunteer to lead a project at school if you're in school. Volunteer to lead a project at church, right? There are always opportunities to exhibit product manager behaviors, right? So it can be that, oh, there's one program that you guys want to do at church. Maybe it is you guys want to plan a Christmas carol at church, right? Volunteer. Say, oh guys, I don't mind, you know, managing this whole process. You know, wherever people are running away from responsibility, stand there and say, guys, I want to do this thing, right? And then plan the entire process from start to finish. Think about, you know, what people are going to want at that Christmas carol. Think about, oh, people are going to want to have Christmas hats available. So let's have that for sale at the church premises, right? People are going to want to listen to, you know, this songs. So let's practice those. Let's do this. Let's do that. And, you know, as you're managing the entire process, there are going to be different parties that you're going to need to be collaborating with. You're going to collaborate with pastor. You're going to collaborate with choir. You're going to collaborate with ushers. This is just an example, right? Even if you're not, you know, somebody that works at the church, there's everywhere you are. I could easily think about an example at work that you can step, you know, wear your PM pants, right? So just become a product manager right now. Become a product manager tonight, right? Think like a product manager, act like a product manager, and just you know, put that problem solving cap on and start doing what PMs do. Right. So sorry guys, I switched the screens. So I ran us through how to create your career plan. That was step 3, and then I've done step 4. All right. So the next thing you want to do to have a successful, I'm going to need to run at this point. Okay, the next thing you're going to need to do to start and build a successful career is, as you're doing all of these things, document it. Document everything, right? If you do something at your local church, go and write it down. Identify this was the problem. This was my approach. This was the result I got from solving the problem. You know, all of those things. Start writing them down. If it's that you want to build a personal project, right? You want to build a personal project. There are loads of no-code tools these days, right? So anybody can build an app right now in a couple of minutes, by the way. Like, it's not something that's going to take you weeks or months, right? So when you start building your own personal projects, which is also, you know, a huge part of starting your product management career, like doing step 4, right? Doing the product work, right? When you start building all of those things, start writing it down, start doing the product documentation of those, you know, of those products you have built. If I decide today, I don't know who it was again that said that they would like to digitize the process of boarding public transport. You can literally build an app out of that, like right now, with no capital, right? All you need is your phone and data and YouTube, right? So when you build something like that, you want to document the process of doing that. You want to document the feedback that you get when you ask people to try. Just make sure that there's digital prints of all those things that you have done, right? So keep track of everything. Create simple artifacts like your PRD, your user story, wireframes, you know, design all of those things. Use tools like Notion, Google Docs. Use all of those tools to just document all of these things down. And, you know, when it's time to build your portfolio, you're going to have a bunch of things to show, right? Because people, when it comes to product management, you show, you don't just tell. You don't just go for an interview and say, I'm a product manager, I know how to do product work. Like, Nobody cares for that. At the end of the day, it all boils down to what have you built, and can we see what you have built, right? So you're going to need to show, not just tell, right? So make sure you have documentation of everything you're working on. That is the next step. All right. So once you have, done all of those things, you have started the product work, right? I don't want us to lose, our train of thought. So let me just quickly do a recap of, step 1 to 5, right? So, okay. Let me do a recap of step 1 to 5, right? So you need to first understand what product management is about. You need to go and learn all the core skills one by one. Write everything down and start learning all the core skills. If, for your role, you're going to need to be technically fluent, like you need technical fluency, go and write that down and start taking courses on, technical fluency, APIs for product managers and all of that. Create a career plan after you have learned those core skills, and start doing PM work without waiting for the title. Start doing PM work in your workplace, start doing PM work in school, start doing PM work at church, start doing PM work wherever you are. And while you're doing all of this work, document everything. All right, so let's now go to step 6 very quickly. Next thing you want to do is be able to use tools, right? Product tools. Now, product tools, luckily for you, it's not rocket science, right? You're just going to need to familiarize yourself with everyday tools that product managers use, right? So as a product manager, you'll be managing projects a lot, right? So you need project management tools like Jira, like Trello, like Asana, like ClickUp, right? These are things that you're going to be able to use to manage your product. You're going to be able to use it to do product documentation, plan sprints, create your roadmap, manage your engineers. You're going to need these tools, right? If you are going to be, not if, you would definitely be collaborating on design, right? So you want to learn how to use tools like Figma, like FigJam, like Miro, right? And when I say learn how to use Figma, I'm not saying that you should be a pro Figma user, like professional Figma user, just like, the UI UX designers use it, but you don't want them to give you access to Figma and you go and press Control Spoil because you never learned how to use it, right? You need to be able to use it, give design review, drop comments, do all of those basic things on Figma, right? You're going to need to be able to do diagramming, right? Because you'll be drawing wireframe, you'll be drawing user flows, all of those things, right? So Miro is a great tool for that. Another one you can use for that is Draw.io and Lucid Charts or Lucid Spark. Those are amazing tools that you can, learn how to use, right? For analytics, Mixpanel, Google Analytics, Amplitude, Hotjar, Microsoft Clarity. Those are great tools that you can use to track, user activity on your product. Of course, to do this, the tool will need to be integrated with your product, right? And that is something that your engineers are going to do for you. But once this integration is done, you're going to need to be able to go to the dashboard, and you're going to need to be able to create events and like list the events that you want to track, so that the designers know what exactly, I say designers, your engineers know what exactly they are integrating that tool for, and you just be able to track all of those events and triggers, right? So in case you are lost, at this point, when I talk about data and all that, don't be lost. It's not rocket science. Ustackschool would help you learn all of those things. And if you need additional knowledge, you can always go to YouTube and learn how to use Hotjar, right? What to track on Hotjar. Another thing is ChatGPT is your bestie, right? You want to have conversations with ChatGPT and say, oh, I want to learn this thing. Where should I start from, right? So for communication, you want to be able to use I think everybody knows how to use Slack. Well, in case you don't know how to use Slack, probably want to get familiar with that. Another tool, very brilliant tool that I absolutely love, Loom. Loom is a great tool because as product managers, you're going to be having a lot of meetings, right? And a lot of people are going to want to meet with you. You're going to need to clarify some things. You're going to need to give feedback to engineers. Let's say there's a bug on your product, right? And you want to say, this is how the thing is doing. When I click on this is the error I get or something. You want to get the engineer on the call so that I can see what you're talking about. There's no need for that, right? You can just use Loom to record, that particular experience and send it, or you can use Loom to just record, something and show whoever it is that you're trying to collaborate with, right? So it's a great way to meet async, right? So you want to learn how to use Loom. Now, I've said many things, and I know that as beginners, you might start feeling intimidated, by all of this, like, I have to learn this, there's so much to learn, blah, blah, blah. Don't try to learn everything at once. Just make a list of all the tools that you want to learn and start from the smallest bit, right? If you're not very good at using, say, ClickUp, right? You might want to go and just familiarize yourself with ClickUp and Notion before you start learning Jira, right? So don't try to say, there are 15 tools I need to learn to be a great product manager. Let me go and learn 15 tools. No, you don't need to learn all of that immediately. You can just start in bits and pieces. And that thing is when you're learning your core skills, like one of the core skills you want to learn is user flows. You want to be able to create user flows, right? As you're learning to create user flows, you would also learn to use, these tools that you use to create user flows, right? So as you're have those drop wire, like which find all of those tools like that. So don't be too hard on yourself, just learn them in bits and pieces, right? So that is the next thing you probably want to do to become, a great product manager. Step 7, build your personal brand, right? Build your personal brand. And I know that this is probably not the first time you have heard this, that you build your personal brand. But the reason why you hear it so often is because it's very important. You cannot be a quiet product manager, right? And the best people are not always so how do I explain this? There are a lot of great product managers that are not successful at their career. And I'm telling you this as somebody who's been in the space for long enough. The best product managers are not always the product managers that earn the most, right? Because people perceive you the way you show them, right? The people's perception of you is highly dependent on what you show, right? So if you want to be seen as a product manager, a very good one at that, you need to go about telling people that you're an amazing product manager. I mean, not literally. You're not going to just go there and say, hi, I'm an amazing product manager. I mean, if you want to do that, sure. But building a personal brand is a lot more than that, right? You want people to see you working. You want people to hear you talking about your skills, right? You want to share when you're learning something. You want to write case studies and share. You want to do, product crackdowns. You want to do product reviews. Reflect publicly, build publicly, right? Building a personal brand is not something you have to start after you have become a product manager. You're like, oh, let me just do all my courses first. And when I'm done with all of these courses, then I'm going to, start telling people that. No, start like from day one. Like go and post about this class on LinkedIn tomorrow morning. Say, oh, guys, after this journey, product manager, and this and this is what I learned yesterday, right? That is what you want to do when you're building your personal brand. So share your thinking, right? Show people that you're great at what you do. Show people that you're a great problem solver. And one thing you have to know is it's not going to pay off immediately. People don't go viral on their first post. At least majority of people do not go viral with their first post, right? But consistency is what builds credibility, right? So as you keep posting and posting and posting, before you know, people begin to associate you with that industry, right? So people think product management and then think Nena, right? People think product management and begin to think Olola. They're like, if there's ever a need, like a vacancy, like, oh, I need a product manager, you'll be the first person that comes to mind, right? So you're a product manager, and there's still people around you, there's still people on your LinkedIn, there's still people on your WhatsApp status, there's still people on your Twitter that don't know that it's product management you are doing, then you have not moved the needle on your personal brand at all, right? So people around you must be able to know, everybody around you must be able to know that, yes, so this is what you do, right? So that's the next step you want to take as somebody who wants to build a successful product management career, right? So step 8, network, but do it horizontally. So whenever people say networking, they always mean, oh, go and meet one senior product manager, or go and meet the founder of one product so that you can get employment, or so that the person can mentor you or something. But I found that horizontal networking is a lot more effective, a lot more effective than networking vertically, right? So horizontal networking basically means connect with your peers, right? On LinkedIn, you can start by commenting on. So if you know that there's somebody who is open as product manager like yourself, and the person is like posting stuff, and the person is like showing, oh, I built this, I built that, you can, drop an encouraging comments for them. Send them a LinkedIn DM. Say, oh, I'd like to collaborate with you on this personal project I'm working on, right? So if you want to build an app, or you don't want to do it, like, you can literally just connect with other like entry-level designers or entry-level professionals, right? And connect to them and say, oh, let's collaborate on this. Before you know it, you people have cooked soup. People have cooked, like, you don't cook products, because you have connected with people that are the same level with you. The problem with connecting vertically is that you're not the only one who is trying to get these people, right? For every senior product manager, or for every high-level professional or founder that you're trying to connect with, there's like 1,000 of you trying to reach these people. And if you're lucky enough, you'd get noticed. And that is amazing. But in this class, I'm trying to give you guys practical steps, right, to build a successful career. And so it just makes sense that you want to reach out to people who are much easier, to like more receptive to you, much more likely to read your messages and all of that. I'll give you guys a quick example. There was a time I was trying to get employed at a particular company. This company is like my dream company, right? I had looked at something, I'm like, I really want to, work at this place, but I don't know anybody. So what did I do? I went to LinkedIn and I started reaching out to people that were at the same level with me, not even in the same role, or not necessarily product managers. This was, a long time ago, right? I started reaching out to people, that are the same level, saying, oh, hi, blah, blah, blah. I'm interested in doing this and that. I don't know if there's any, you don't even necessarily have to like make a request at the first message, right? But just try to get to know them and say, oh, can we have like a sync? I'm struggling with this thing and I need your help. If you could put me through this particular aspect, I saw from your profile that you're very good with data, and I would like to know how you do it, blah, blah, blah. People like to feel important, right? And you're reaching out to somebody that doesn't get reached out to a lot, right? So if you're reaching out to like your peers, there's a very high chance that 1,000 people are not reaching out to them. So your message will be read, number one. Now, that is not to say all of them are going to respond to you, right? There's still some people that, are not exactly the most chatty, or are not exactly trying to mingle with people like that. But there are going to be some people that will read your message and be like, this person reached out. Amazing. Let's connect, right? So just try to network horizontally. Do it with your peers first. And as you grow in your career, you would find that these people that you are trying to vertically connect with, right, the higher ups that you are trying to connect with, are even the ones that will be reaching out to you, because you have done the work, right? You have gotten noticed. Then you see that recruiters are even reaching out to you. Top level professionals are saying, I like this piece that you dropped on Medium, right? Are you open to taking this interview at so company? That's how it is, right? Because you have put in. So don't try to pass through shortcuts and just like start reaching out to like, higher ups who you think can just, help you out very quickly. Connect with your peers first and see how it goes from there, right? So step 9, which is you have learned all core skills, you have started doing product work, right? You have started building your personal brand, you have done networking. What is next? Start applying for jobs and do it way before you're even ready, right? Now, the reason why I say do it before you even feel ready is because, guys, I promise you, speaking from experience, you will never feel ready. You will never feel like readiness is not something that you are ever going to feel. There's never going to be a time where you're going to be like, I've learned enough now and I want to start applying for jobs. You're always going to feel, small. You're always going to feel like, let me learn more. Let me learn this extra thing. I don't know tech. I don't know the technical bits enough. I don't know this part enough. Let me just learn it more. And that is how we continue to, change ourselves, right, as we're building this career. So, guys, immediately, in fact, I would say start applying for jobs immediately you are done with your tutorials, right? Immediately you are taking your course. Start applying for jobs immediately. Now, I'm not going to fool you. You're probably not going to get all right. You're not going to get called for interviews every time you apply. That's simply just not what is going to happen, right? But one thing that will happen for sure is you're going to learn from every application you put in, right? For every interview that you get, that is a learning experience, right? So when you attend your first interview and they ask you some kind of questions and like you just mess up real bad, there's a very high chance that those questions that you're asking in the first interview are questions you're probably going to be asked in the second interview and the interview after that. Because again, these people, they're not bringing questions from heaven, no. Like there are standard questions that people ask, recruiters ask, or hiring managers ask in interviews that it just cuts across. Of course, there are going to be a few questions here and there that are going to be personalized to you based on what is on your CV or based on the company's needs. Yes, there's going to be that, but there are standard questions. So what I would say here is fail fast, right? Fail very early, fail very fast, right? So if you're attending interviews and you're not getting them, once you have gotten a rejection mail or whatever, reach out to the hiring manager and say, oh, I saw your email. Thank you very much for giving me the offer, even if I was not accepted. Do you mind giving me feedback on my performance? What do you think I should have improved in the way I answered questions or in my CV, right? When you ask for feedback, which is, again, another very product management thing to do, right? When you ask for feedback, you can always, improve much faster. So if the person is truthful enough and say, you know what, one of the reasons why we didn't take you was because you just don't seem to understand this aspect of product management. You have gotten very valuable feedback. What does that tell you? Go and learn this part a bit more. Or if somebody says something like, oh, it just felt like you did not, have enough experience. What does that tell you? Go and work on more personal projects or go and volunteer somewhere or even learn how to sell yourself a lot better, right? Because sometimes you can work on a lot of things and if you're not able to sell yourself well enough, you still will not be able to get the job. So apply immediately, apply as soon as possible. Don't wait till you're ready. Just keep applying. Apply like your life depends on it, because it probably does, right? This is your life we're talking about. Your career is a huge part of your life. How your career pans out is going to determine how happy you are in life, right? So your life depends on it. So act like it and start applying, early and apply a lot, right? So that is I think the last bit that I'm going to say is, before we go to key steps, the last bit I want to say, I thought a lot about whether I should include this in the slide or not, but I'm just going to say it because you guys are my guys, right? One thing you have to do to be successful as a product manager is stay hungry, and stay foolish. Stay hungry, stay foolish. You're going to get to a point where it looks like you're comfortable with where you are at. You have gotten your first job, or you have gotten your first internship, or you have gotten your first volunteering gig. And it's very easy to get comfortable in that position, right? It's very easy to, especially when you're getting good feedback at work. So you're doing a good job at work, you're doing all your market research right, you're doing all your product documentation right, and all of those things. But there's a whole world out there that is changing very quickly, right? There's always a new buzz, the tech industry. If it's not blockchain today, it'll be AI tomorrow, right? So because the tech industry is always evolving, do not stop learning. Stay hungry for knowledge. Stay foolish. Stay humble. Stay open to learn, right? You're not ever going to know too much. Even I still take courses these days, right? Even I am still open to being schooled whenever there's something new, right? So I still attend courses. I still go for webinars. I still attend physical events because I want to learn more, right? So the only way to keep climbing, all the way to the top is if you stay hungry and stay foolish. All right, I know that sounds weird, but it's a real thing, right? So last thing I'm going to say, guys, is the best time to start is now, right? You might have been sitting on starting a product career for like the longest time. I'm sure some of you heard about tech in 2020. Some of you said, I want to become a product manager in 2021. Some of you said it's in 2022. Some of you said it's 2023. Now this is 2025, and we're already getting to the end, right? So I want to implore you guys today to start right now. Start becoming a product manager today. Take those courses very seriously. Understand what product management is, right? Learn all the core skills. Begin to do the product work. Start building your brand. Network horizontally, right? And as you do all of these things, I am sure, and I hope and I pray that you guys build the career of your dreams, right? So that is pretty much, the steps that I would say it takes to becoming an amazing, amazing product manager. You guys sat through this. So Rachel said, I should stay foolish. Yes, so stay hungry, stay foolish. Who can tell me who said that? Who can tell me? I don't want to promise something because I know you people are big boys and girls in this class, right? But that is a very popular term. Who can tell me who said stay hungry, stay foolish? Who can tell me? Should I promise you something so you people will tell me? Okay, you guys don't know it. It's fine. It's actually a quote by somebody great. Right. So that brings us to the end of this session. Did you check it? So Steve Jobs, yes. Steve Jobs said, stay hungry, stay foolish. All right, so we have come to the point where I'm able to answer questions if you have any. Our time is fast spent, so we'll only be able to take a couple of questions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jedida, for that, starstruck session. To be very honest, I stayed glued. So please, Inena, all right? So confirm if this is a question and, because I know you've been putting up this hand since the beginning of this session, all right? But if this is a question and you want to ask a question, please give me a thumbs up. That's fine then. Okay, good, fantastic. So please, guys, if you have any question, all right, let's send that in the chat too as well. And if you're comfortable, putting up your hand, you can use the raise hand icon at the bottom part of your screen. Let's ask our questions. Jedida is here to answer every question. She has some other more time here on the call to ask our questions. Then Tosi, I think Tosi hand is already up. We'll take the first two or first three persons, so that because of time, we still also need to show us the roadmap on how we help people get land product management jobs in terms of skills. So Tosi, I'll make you a co-host now so that you can unmute your mic and go ahead to ask a question. So Tosi and two more persons, please put up your hands if you actually want to ask a question, or you can put that in the chat. Tosi, over to you. Yeah, Tosi, you can mute your mic. You are a host now. All right, let's have Adebayo. Adebayo, you've been made a host, so please go ahead to ask a question. Adebayo.
Thank you. Can I go with my question now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. In the beginning of the class, someone was trying to define what a product management is all about, and I got confused at the point because the definition she actually gave actually resonates with that of the project management. So I would like the discussant to help us make clarification between project management and product management. Are they the same thing? And if they're not the same thing, so it should help us with the discrepancies so that we'll be able to distinguish between the two. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Jedida, do you want to just take that immediately?
That is a very classic product dilemma, right? What is the difference between a product manager and a project manager? All right, so their goal is different. A project manager is more concerned about completing a project and completing it on budget, right? So a project manager is more of a planner. This person wants to ensure that there's a checklist of things that has been done, and these things have been done on time, and this thing has been done within budget. But a product manager is more user-centric, right? A product manager is more concerned about, does this solve the problem of the user, right? Is this product the right product that should be going out? Is it built in the right way? Do you understand? So when you think about project managers, just think about them as, what example should I use? Think about them as people that just want to get things done within a particular time frame and within a particular budget, right? So event planners can easily be project managers, right? Because they already know what exactly. So they're not, project managers don't think about solving problems, right? They think about, so they are giving what should be done, right? There's all that conversation already decided about, this is what you should do. So that is handed over to them on their lap. This is what we are doing. And the person takes it up and says, okay, we are going to do this. The person then creates a timeline. Of course, I have to acknowledge that there are lots of similarities between product and project managers. To be very honest, there are lots of similarities between them. But a project manager is more concerned about, okay, this is what you have said I should do. No problem. This is the budget. The person is going to draft the budget. The person is going to draft the plan, like the roadmap to achieving it, to make sure that that thing is done on time. But a product manager is thinking about, oh, what should we even do in the first place? Like the person has to think about it from scratch, from ideation phase, has to think about, what should we even build? Is this the right product that we're building for these users? Are users going to love it? Are users going to pay for this? Is this something that is technically feasible if it's a software, right? Or even hardware? Is it technically feasible? Can my engineers do this, right? And when all of that is out of the way, you now have to start putting this out. And the definition of done for a product manager and a project manager are also one of the key differences between them. When a project manager delivers a project, that is their own definition of done, right? But for product managers, it never ends until the product dies, or until the product is, until you sunset the product, or until it's sold, or like the product has to end, reach an end before a product manager's work is done, right? So they're going to think about, oh, what should we build? How should we build it? coordinate the team to build this, and when that thing is out, you still want to get feedback and iterate on it, and you just keep managing the product till the very end. I don't know if that answers your question. Do you now have an understanding of the difference between them?
All right. I believe Adebayo, please, you can just put a comment in the chat so that we take other questions. Abiodun, I believe that answers this question. So you probably just catch up in the chat, okay, so that we can take more people. So see, Abiodun, are you with us? Are you still with us? You want to unmute your mic to ask a question? If you're not with us, then Oreofe can go ahead, please. Oreofe, please go ahead. All right, Adebayo said, thank you very much for the clarifications. I think he got that correctly. So, Oreofe, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, thank you so much, Ma, for the class. It was really great. So, my question, you had mentioned that we should start in like the little things. But it's not really clear. Like when you mention the product requirements document, and when you mention like the product roadmap, when you mention like other technical things, like when you mention like Maya framing and sketching, and then like samples.
Is that my network or your network?
I think
It's
it's from
breaking up a bit.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I think no, you are breaking up. Jedida, you are breaking up. I think it's from your end, Jedida. I think you are breaking up actually.
Ah.
Yeah.
Alright, do you want to take that again?
It's okay, Ma. I can take it again. Okay, please. I was asking, is there like where I could get like samples of the PLDs? Can you hear me, Ma?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so you had mentioned that we should start. It mustn't exactly be a big product or some very big project in quotes. It doesn't have to be like a job, and that's really profound for me. So, but I wanted to ask, is there like where I could get like samples of PRDs, wireframes, the product roadmap, and other like technical things that technical product managers do? Because I don't know, I've not like done it before, but I want to like start it like where I could get like a template or something to like see how this was done for this product, and then trying to do same for like a try or something. Yeah, that's like my question. Thank you.
Okay. If I get you correctly, you said one of the points that stuck out to you was the point about starting anyway. Starting your project immediately, and you want to know how to start, and you also want to know if there are resources that you can use to start. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so there are two parts of that. There is the what exactly should I do to start, and are there resources available to me? So let me just answer the first part of that before I go to the second one. What do you do to start? To answer that question, for work. And if you're not currently working, that's also fine. Can you answer that for me, Oriofe? Or are you a student? Or just tell me, give me an idea of what you're doing at the moment.
Okay, currently I'm not exactly working. I should be posted for service here, so because of that, I did not like take up a job in quotes. So like currently I'm not like working.
Okay, that's fine. That makes a lot of sense. All right, so if you want to start immediately, what I would say is, remember, there are two steps that you need to take before you even start, which is number one, understanding exactly what product management is, having a deep understanding of it and learning all the core skills. By the time you're learning all the core skills, things like product documentation and wireframing and charting, user flows, all of those things will be it will be smalls, right? Because you have those are core skills that you would have already learned, right? But to start immediately, what I would say is start doing what a product manager will do in wherever position you find yourself. So even if you're not currently working, but you attend church, start doing product work there. When you start serving, there's going to be CDS, right? You can be actively involved in CDS and like start doing product work there. Think about an initiative, right, in CDS and say, oh, so this is a problem that I've noticed, guys, and this is how we should solve it. So let me start this project. These are things that you're going to later add in your CV, because remember that one of the steps to having a successful career is documenting all of these things that you're going to be doing, right? Another thing that you can do immediately is to like literally just build a product. Like build a product, right? And that's the reason why every step I've mentioned is very important. If you feel like building a product, I cannot do it, I don't know anything, remember, first 2 steps: understand what product management is, learn the core skills, and then start doing product work. So if you don't want to build a product alone, network horizontally. Go and meet like an upcoming designer, go and meet an upcoming developer. Or if you don't even want to collaborate on the project that you're going to build, you can use a no-code tool, right? There are lots of tools like that. There's Bubble, right? There is what's this other one? There are a couple of that. Just ask ChatGPT, right? That, oh, give me no-code tools. You will literally be able to build products out of prompts, right? And then you can now start fine-tuning the product. So you want to Lovable, that is the, thank you very much, Becky. That's the product I was literally thinking about, because I used it at work recently. So what happened was, there's a super admin so we built a product, right? I work in tech consulting, and there's a particular product that we are building for an oil and gas company, and we have built the product already, and we're about to hand over to them, but the contract that we had with the developers had already expired, and we have not built the super admin. No, the contract we had with the designer has already expired, and we have not built the super admin tool. So what did I do? I literally just went to Lovable to go and explain, okay, I've written requirements for that super admin, portal. So I wrote all of the requirements, and I used those requirements to generate a PRP, right? So a prompt requirements, PRD, right? Not product requirements now, a prompt document, right? So you create that prompt document and then you give it to Lovable, and it will literally just generate the design for you, right? So this AI can help you with lapses like that. So one thing that I would personally like is if you can actually collaborate with upcoming members of a technical team. So get an upcoming dev, get an upcoming designer, get an upcoming QA. These people are also looking for opportunities like this, right? Like you're looking for. So they'll be happy to come on board. And when you are talking about this project, or when you're writing the case study for it, you talk about how you are able to convince these people to come on board, and how you're able to collaborate with them and manage the whole thing. Is product management more than that? It's not. Product management is not more than that. If you can convince people to come on board and build a product with you and manage that process end to end, you have literally done product work. So that's what it means to start. And if you don't have that privilege at your disposal, use AI to build products, and start writing about how this product is useful in the real world. Start getting people to use it. When they start using it, ask them for feedback and start iterating based on the feedback. These are things that you're going to be able to say in interviews, and they'll be like, okay, this person has experience and this person knows what they're doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Then for the other part of your question, which is resources, I'm sure that Ustackschool will have resources available, but besides the one from Ustackschool, one thing I like to do is use ChatGPT. It's a free tool, right? Now, one of the reasons why I like coordinated learning, right, is you can get overwhelmed when you start entering YouTube, and you go to YouTube and you say how to do this one, and plenty videos come up, but you start getting drowned in all of it. Like, which one do I watch first? Which one should I do first? All of that. But you can use ChatGPT to like tailor it down and also recommend resources for you, right? So if you say, ChatGPT, I want to learn about data in the context of products, where should I? It will literally give you like everything it is that you need to learn. And then you can also now ask for resources and it'll give you that. But having done all of that, so go through Ustackschool, meet ChatGPT and ask you those questions. And then if you still feel like you still want like a multi-lot experience or something, start networking with people on LinkedIn. Like if you see somebody that is really good at something that you want to learn, let's say I'm going to keep using data as an example because that's an important part that is missing for a lot of people. So somebody like post about data and stuff on their LinkedIn. By the way, go and add product managers, like add them, connect with them like mad, like just keep connecting and connecting until LinkedIn tells you you don't to do. Right? LinkedIn has to tell you that you have done too much for the day before you stop and then go again the next day. So by the time you have done all of that, your LinkedIn will become like the algorithm will become a product-based algorithm, right? Because those are the people that you have on LinkedIn, and a lot of product stuff will keep coming and stuff like that. And these things will fall on your lap, literally. Like the more product people you follow, the more people you even drop on zero repository, I'm going to call it. But like a lot of people have already like done the groundwork and put a lot of resources together like that. So if you do all of these things, you won't have a problem learning at all. Yeah, you won't have a problem learning.
Right.
So that is pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jedida. Before we take any further questions, Sakinat and Tosi, just hold on. I wanted to just walk us through this. So if you can wait, I think Jedida would also take some other questions. But I wanted to just, Jedida, you want to stop sharing your screen for now. Let me just walk everyone through the roadmap from Ustackschool. Just like rightly mentioned, it's always very easy to learn in a guided framework, right? You want to learn from individuals who are currently in the system, okay? And I'll just walk us through this. So we at the moment for Ustackschool, we have what we call 3 phases. It's a three month cohort, and we will be rounding up the first batch of our cohorts for the year this month. All right, and this is how the structure is. I would also share this access to everyone who have filled the attendance form. All right, so you can go ahead to look at the curriculum itself. So I'll quickly run through this. Introduction to product management. So if you've never done product management before in your life, in the first month, week 1, all right, you get introduced into product management, and you can see every bit and pieces of what you'll be learning within the program. Right, it's a project-based training program. So for every of the phase that you'd go through, you'd have a project and an objective exam to do. So what is the product management? What is product management rather? Roles and responsibilities of a product manager, and what do really product managers do, and the differences between product owner, product management, and also Scrum Master. Week 2, you look at the product core concept, looking into management life cycle, agile methodologies, and the different agile methodologies that we'll be looking into would be Scrum, Safe, and Kanban. All right, and we'll also look at product development life cycle. That's a week 2. Then week 3, we're looking at product management pillars and overview, having to deal with user research, market research. I would also show us this, live examples of what our students were able to do during Capstone project, because for our Capstone project, we needed it to be to be real. It's not just a dummy kind of project. You would have to undergo this physically, and I'll show that video evidence to everyone and what their Capstone project looked like. They went into the market to carry out what we call user research, and also carried out market research, and also carried out what we call competitive analysis. So when you're looking at market research, you're looking at the different frameworks or techniques, you're carrying out market research, because these are more like the bread and butter of product management. Because if you don't know how to carry, user research, I don't think it's not even possible. You can't even become a product manager, because your main goal is to serve customers. All right. So in the week 4, we're looking at user-centered design and frameworks, having to do with ideation, hypothesis formation, solution formation, asking 5 whys. For you to be able to solve a problem, you need to ask why 5 times. There are different objectives into those frameworks. You then define user personas, all right, having to build behavioral psychology and understand, map user story and also customer, journey. And so someone also talked about wireframing. Yes, it's also one of those key things you learn. All right, you want to be, it's mapping. If you are doing mapping, you talk about wireframing from point A to point B to point C, trying to have an overview of how the process will, look like. Okay, also one of the key things, like I mentioned. So you can see a scenario objective exams. That is the end of the phase 1, which is the month 1. All right, and that will be done in the 4th month. And you'll be doing this with what, a tool called Figma. Building wireframes with what? Figma. Then in phase 2, week 1, you're looking at business strategy, how to define and create your own company vision and mission. And I'll show us practically how individuals who went through just 3-month program were able to do this. Every of the things in this curriculum, they practicalized it. All right, how to create your company vision, how to create your also company mission. We talked about product prioritization. I think Jedida also mentioned this. It's a full module on its own. Majority of these things she shared are full modules on their own, but you need to actually learn these. These are prerequisites. All right, even if you've not learned everything, for some of the ones that you've learned, you can learn entry-level jobs in product management. So when I talk about product prioritization, we're looking at Moscow techniques, all right, rice technique, Kano techniques, how to then define success metrics, how to build your success metrics. All right, what can you term successful, or what can you term done? All right, are one of those key things you'll be learning. In your week 3, in the 2nd month, you're looking at product analytics, having to make data-driven decision making. Just like Jedida said, as a product manager, majority of the things you'll be doing will be driven via data. You're not going to just base all of your decisions on intuition. All right, if not, you'll just miss it out. All right, you've carried out user research. It should be based on what, that data, and not because okay, we feel that users will love the button at the bottom right corner, whereas you're carrying out user research, they mentioned that they would like it at the top left corner. You don't do that kind of stuff in product management. Also, you look at building funnels. All right, we like A/B testing and experimentation, and how to tell stories using data. Now show us a practical example of what students have been able to do. Then in your week 4, looking at product pricing, how to build business models and revenue models, monetization strategies, and what you can see here, scenario objective exams for every of the phase. So phase is months. For every month, you write exams to to validate what you've actually done. Then in the last month, which is the phase 3, we look at product execution. What is product execution? What is product execution breakdown? How to create epics, how to create user stories, how to create acceptance criteria, and what is the definition of done? Well, you know that this is done. How can you define the word done? Right? You also understand what Scrum lifecycle is. You also understand what release management and analysis is all about. And also one of the bread and butter of product management, stakeholder management, right? Because you'll be working with different stakeholders, designers, developers, QAs, sales, marketing, category, managers, customer support. They are stakeholders, all right? And you also have senior stakeholders who are what? Managers and also senior leadership. So you need to be able to identify those persons that are relevant to the product building and also map their responsibilities. As a product manager, you are more like a cross-functional leader. So you'll be working with different teams, right? And also, how can you then manage these distributed teams? It's something that you'll be learning within the program. Then with 2 in the last month, which is with phase 3, you learn technical for product managers. All right, you learn SQL basics. So when I was reading Jedida's profile, you saw some of all these things there, right? So these are key prerequisites, and they are nice to have. Trust me. SQL basics for product managers, product development API basics. All right, you learn how to build your own API and also webhooks within the program. Also build your GitHub portfolio within the program too as well. Thirdly, in the last month, you learn leveraging AI and machine learning for what product manager. As a product manager, trust me, you don't want to be left behind with the advent of AI and innovation. So would walk you through AI product development life cycle and how to create your own AI model and what chatbot within the program. All right, how you can use AI for productivity as a product manager, and also multivariate, testing, segmentation, like I mentioned, creating your own AI powered bot. All right, so you can also go through this, curriculum. And lastly, aside all these technicalities, when you've learned all those technicalities, you want to the end goal is to apply to it for a job. Come on, man, because we are not just doing all of these things to just pack up our skills, right? We want to get job, right? So, and that's why we also added it within the program. The week 4, career readiness. You'll be doing what? Revamping your CV. You'll also optimize your LinkedIn profile, creating your own portfolio, and also for individuals who go ahead. Imagine you've learned all these things. Your week 1, your month 1 and month 2, you are fantastically good to go. You can start applying to jobs, like Jedida mentioned. You don't need to wait till the ending of the month or to the ending of the program before you start applying to jobs. No, we're all due to start applying to jobs even within and during the program, because you learn a lot, from those interviews. Some of the places where you need to dot your I's, need to cross your T's, you even learn it before you are done with the program. All right. And whenever you get those interviews, we would prep you, for those interviews. And I wanted to just show us this. It's also very important. Let's actually see. Okay, one of my these are some of the guys from the program itself. I wanted to just quickly show us this. These are some of the guys from the program itself, and you'd see from here we have yeah, we'll talk about money later, but I wanted us to just look at the reality of, let's see this stuff, right? So some of this success story, Gloria Ekpo, joined the program, and she currently has a background in linguistics and what holds an MBA, in business administration and management. And with the program, just 3 months, she was able to launch, her first product management project. And I'll show us what she was able to do. It's fascinating, to be very honest. And Akiumi, has a political, science background, and he also was able to carry out an end-to-end product management, project. And same with, Prince. Prince was able to move from computer science. I think, okay, Prince is the only one who has kind of like, a computer science, degree, but for the 2 persons here, linguistics and also political science, nothing relating to product management, but they found themselves taking the course and they were able to launch their own, product management, project. Sorry. So one of the key things is that I will share us this slide, all right, and you can also click on the link to go through this student profile, because it's something that we celebrate all our students. We always try to do student spotlight, and you can see the spotlight we made for Gloria Ekpo. It's real. It's not maybe a cooked up story. No, it's real. You can go ahead. You can see this was done 4 weeks ago. A student spotlight for what Gloria Ekpo, and you can see here we celebrated her for her diligence and what she was able to do. And I would love to show us what her project was. Trust me, I think she deserved being called the spotlight student for that month. All right, so this was our project. This is our Keystone project that she carried out. All right, the name of the product was EduPath. All right, a personalized career guidance platform for Nigerian youth. And this is the introduction. And you recall that in the curriculum we mentioned that you would be able to draft your problem statement. You'll be able to draft your vision and mission. This is under your business strategy. So all these things, she never had any experience in them before. Because of the program, she was able to build this. You can see and this is a dummy. You cannot see, if you go type it anyway, you will not see this stuff. It's a dummy project, right? You can see that EduPath, all right, the problem is to what? This is the problem statement. Many Nigerian students and young professionals lack structured career guidance. They make academic choices that don't align with their passions or market realities, leading to underemployment and frustration. Existing gaps, prep tools, learning platform, mentorship groups, yada yada. And the solution for the EduPath is what? A career guidance platform offering personalized career roadmaps, mentorship, community support, and helping young people make confident, informed career decisions. And the vision was what we taught them in class, having to draft their own vision statements. To what? To build a generation of confident, skilled professionals who find meaningful careers and create lasting impact. And mission: to empower young people with personalized career roadmaps, mentorship, and community support, guiding them from certainty to clarity and from potential to what achievement. And this is a what? This is a 17 page document. She was able to draft the user persona. So there are two user personas for this project. Primary user persona, whose name is Chiamaka, it's a dummy name, and those are personas, and also secondary, user persona. And user persona A, the primary person who is a student, and the one who is a graduate. The first one is, can see she identified the pain point, and EduPart, the product that she's launching, the proposed solution. Same thing applies to the secondary user persona. She identified the pain point, and also she was able to draft what the proposed solution. And you can see data. It's very, very important. She carried out this information was not cooked. She carried this out, and I'll show us that video. Okay, so this data insight and validation, market research summary. You recall during the curriculum I mentioned user research, market research, competitive analysis. So she carried out this activity, and she was able to know that, okay, primary users only 6.5% confident, that from the student angle, are confident in current career choices. 90.3% admit were lacking guidance and mentorship. 70% value personalized. That 70% of those students value personalized career roadmaps. Went to the mentors and also validation. So this was a snapshot, because they need to also present this as their workings for their capstone. And you would see a user flow. She mapped out a flow for our customer journey. Right. So goal: users will move from confusion, clarity, and to what? Confidence. There's going to be an onboarding phase. And number two, there'll be a career assessment. There'll be a mentored matching. And there'll be community engagement, progress tracking, feedback loop, and JIRA view. So you would see here a user flow. These are snapshots of the user flow that she was able to build, and she also did a GTM strategy. All right, go-to-market strategy for this product that she's building, and you can see competitors in the landscape. This is more like a competitor analysis. All right, having to identify some of the competitors and what they are doing, what were their focus, and also their limitation. You can see this. She identified some of the competitors, which is what LinkedIn Learning and Coursera. Their focus is currently on what? Global skills training, and their limitation, not localized or mentor-led. All right. Another competitor is what? Past NG. Focus is what? Exam prep, but limitation is what? No career guidance. And there's another one is that local mentorship groups. It is community driven, but what? Informal and unscalable. So now it is from all these limitations she now built on it to form some of the pain points, for and solutions. EduPart we're providing to users. You can see them there. You can see EduPart edge over AI tools. She listed everything, tackling some of these limitations by this big so you can see that you are learning real world activities, and you are practicalizing it. Right. So you can see here market analysis too, market techniques, SWOT analysis, and PESTLE techniques. She actually carried that out. You can see prioritization. She carried that out using the Moscow techniques. You can see continuation of what she did too as well here. Continuation, and also this was defining user acceptance criteria. She was able to detail that in a capstone project. And these are setting up success metrics. What are success metrics? So she identified those success metrics, and also our final MVP plan. This is a detailed evidence of what this lady was able to do. That's Glory Epo. All right, you would have access to the lady, all right, in the slide. So when you just come here, you have access to this slide. You can just click on her name. You go and see her. This is evidence here. This is her profile. Repo, and you can clearly see that her experience has just been from linguistics and also having an MBA where she's currently doing strategy and performance management. So you would notice that she's trying to make a switch into product management, and that's why she's taking the course. Right? These are individuals that have real experience. Because of time, I might not likely go into every one of them, but I want to show us one video from Akin Yemi, right? What they were able to practicalize. Like I said, it's a practical training program for us at Ustackschool, and I want to show us that video content. And this is Akin Yemi. It's a 3-minute video, but I'll try to play 1 minute of it. Then and I'll move on to how you can get started. I know a lot of persons are asking, how can we really get started? Yes, yeah, there are paid aspects to the training, all right, and I believe that you really love to get started with the program. But yeah, let's just have a look at just 1 minute. All right, let's really look into what Akin was able to do for his own capstone project. Real life, evidence.
So I want to ask.
Okay, I think network is breaking. So let me try to start this again and see if it's going to work. I would have really loved us to watch this, trust me.
So I want to ask, how will people patronize your market?
Yes, though they are trying their best.
Like, how would you feel about onboarding on the app, whereby instead of people coming to the market?
Okay, I wish this is not happening now. Maybe I would have started playing it before the start of the class. All right, but yeah, this is like a real time experience for some of these students. They've actually never done this before, but because the capstone project actually pushed them to get better. All right, so if you're actually getting started in product management, trust me, the product from Ustackschool is what you want to jump on. And I might likely go back to the video later on, but I don't want to waste so much time. It's already 10:19. And let's also look at this. We also created a visa assessment. Olatunji is if you joined earlier, I mentioned that he got the Global Tech Talent visa. So he got a visa and Global Tech Talent visa too. And also he came up with this assessment. It's also for students. All right, those who are students can go ahead to take this visa assessment test. Okay, there are 7 sections. It's some persons would always want to jump back from the country, right? And with product management, it's a tech pathway. All right, people really don't know this, but I'm actually individuals who are really in the tech space really know that they can migrate through the tech nation visa. All right, so with this we help individuals just go through their experience and see if they're actually fit for this visa. So if you're not fit, we tell you where to improve on. If you are actually fit, we then tell you what to do next, and we will guide you all the way. But yeah, so if this is something that makes sense to you, put a clapping emoji. All right, and if you want to get started, it's actually very, very simple. All right, thank you very much, Becky. All right, only Becky is clapping. All right, but if this is something that you really want to get started with, all right, so imagine within the next 3 months, you can also be part of the screen here, just like Becky and some of our standing students. We have a lot more of them, but I just need to just show us this, but because of time, we might not really go in depth. So now we are the program is actually 200,000 naira. All right, like I mentioned in the last week, if you joined the session last week, it is worth 200,000 naira, and that's the registration fee. But because of this call now, all right, we'll just be opening just for 5 people, all right, who will be willing to pay 150,000 naira. We're taking off 50K from the price. But now, interestingly, what we've also done is you can space your payment in 3 batches. You do not need to pay 150,000 naira now. You can pay 50,000 naira now. In the second month, you pay the next 50,000 naira, and in the third month, you go ahead to pay your last 50,000 naira. So if this is something that makes sense to us, you can take action immediately, just for 5 persons on the call. All right, and we'll be sending this blast to everyone in the email mailing channel. So please, if this is something that really works for you, so instead of you paying 67,000 naira, all right, you can go ahead to pay 50,000 naira right now on the call. And this is what the pricing is being displayed on your screen. I think there are questions around. Let me see. Someone just sent a question. Hold on, let me look at that. And if you have any further question regards to this, you can let me know. So please, on the site, one of the deliverables is 25 certificate. Did I get that right? I do not really get what you mean. Is it for the visa? I think you're talking about the visa. Whatever you see on the site is actually correct. All right, I want to believe it's for the visa. All right, whatever you see on the site is 100% correct. Okay, but yeah, that is pretty much it. Are there any questions with regards to what was said today? Also, in terms of registration, if you have any further questions, you can always hit me in the DM. I'll be willing to provide clarity and guidance. But please, if this is something you actually need to get started with, it's just only for the first 5 persons, just for tonight. But after tonight, any other payment will be 67,000 naira, which is because you are going to pay the actual fee, which is 200,000 naira. But for now, you can go ahead to lock in your spot for 150,000 naira by paying just 50,000 naira now to get your discount. So I'll be sending this also. If you have issues filling the attendance form, all right, please send me a WhatsApp DM. Okay, very, very important. I will likely send that into your DM so as well, if that would also work for you. So I'm also going to pin the payment details, all right, on the screen, so that anyone who actually wants to make payment can go ahead to make payment. All right, you can go ahead to make payments here using the GT Bank account details here, and you can send your receipt of payment to Ustackschool, all right, .com. The next cohort is starting on November 8th. That is this coming Saturday, all right, and we will go for the next 3 months. So imagine November, December, and in 2026 you are starting off with a bang. Start applying to jobs. You do not need to wait till the ending of the month for you to start applying to jobs. In 2026, you want to go full throttle. Why people will be taking new courses by then? That's a lot of person's New Year resolution. Your own New Year resolution will be getting job, all right, because you've already learned the necessary skill. You want to start now in November, December, January. You are done with the program. You graduate to do your capstone project, and you are ready for the market. There will be a lot of hiring within that phase because people, in fact, during this phase now, because organizations are preparing for the new new financial year. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it. I don't know if there are any further questions for Jedida. I don't know if Jedida is on the call and she wants to probably share some remarks, but I really appreciate everyone for staying up till now, and also Jedida for also driving this session and giving her all. I don't know, Sekinat, are you good? Do you have a question? So I might want to make you a host if you actually have a question. So let me make you a host so that you can ask a question. I think your hands have been up for a while. Yeah, please, over to you, Sekinat. If you have any questions, you can put up your hands in the chat or probably drop it in the chat, and I'm willing to share as many responses as possible. Okay, but yeah, I think that's it. I'll just wait for the next 2-3 minutes. If there are not any questions, we might likely call it a day. I think I'm already tired too as well, like every one of us, right? So I know that a lot of persons want to rest and sleep, right? And prepare for either service tomorrow or prepare for next week already. But yeah, I think that's it. And also, before I go, okay, Sekinat, please, over to you. Are you good to speak?
Yes. Though everybody is tired, as you have said. Thank you for this wonderful section. My question goes to Jedida. that apart from learning skills about this product management, do I need any other maybe pre-skill? But it's like I've gotten a bit of that answer from what you said, that we have public admin, somebody that has done the course. So do I need any other pre-skill to get started? Maybe that I will probably need when I start product management.
All right, yes, I think I can take that question. So if you want to get started in product management, I feel the only thing there is have an open mind and willing to learn. I think Jedida mentioned that right time and time and time and over again. So whatever you've done, even being a fashion designer, you can leverage what you've learned in fashion, because critical thinking is a core skill. It's not everybody that can think critically. All right, just like how Inena was able to break down what she was doing in fashion into product management. She broke it down so easily. All right, so it means that if she's working as a product manager, she can easily, communicate and even over communicate using, examples like that, because she has critical thinking and expertise. All right, and also being able to communicate. Communication is a very big skill. I know a lot of persons put this in their resume and say, I'm a very good communicator. But it's so funny, anyways, right? Why some person can't even communicate their ideas to their team members? And like I stated in the curriculum, you as a product manager, you are a cross-functional leader, because you'll be working with different stakeholders. You need to be able to manage people. Interpersonal relationship skill is important. A lot of persons will piss you off, but you have to just comport. All right. The goal is to get the job done, right? You learn. You need to have. So I believe soft skills are what will get you the job most of the time. And then you if you then had learned how to use core skills toolkits like Miro, Jira, some of all those technicalities, to build your portfolio. But majority of the times, it will be about, tell me about a time where you work with different stakeholders, yada yada, and all those things. And you need to be able to share experience. And leveraging your past work experience can get you a foot into those interviews, and you might likely even land them. All right. I don't know if that makes sense to you, second note.
It makes sense, but for the last shot, I want to ask, for those technicalities you are talking about, I want to believe they are non-coding stuff.
Absolutely. There's nothing coding. There's nothing coding actually in product management. Right? I'm not going to code anything. And you would see from what I shared here on these guys, you can see no, they never did anything coding in their life, right? This one came from linguistics, English. Pretty much, I only to speak English. That's what Gloria has been doing before she now went ahead to do her MBA. You can see nothing computer related. Even for Akinyemi, political science, and you can see him talking to. I wish this video can actually play. I wish I can. Let me try to see if I can play this again. For those who don't want to go and sleep, let me see if I can play this. Let me try to see this, if this can actually work. I would have loved this. I think I played it in the last class, and a lot of persons enjoyed it. I wish I can. Let me try to see if I can play this again. Okay, it's not working. But Akiyemi carried out a full capstone project. All right, he went into the streets. All right, and I believe those are some of the things he learned as a political science student. Nothing technical at all in any shape or form, because he needed to carry out what we call user research. All right, and he actually did this. I wish I could. I think this is not working. I don't know why. Today, this network just decided. Okay, you can see it's not working. But I would add this to the slide so that every one of us can actually, have access to them. So you do not need any prior experience in any shape or form, right? No coding, nothing at all. We are good to go. So not.
Thank you. I think I'm okay.
All right, thank you very much. I don't know, does anyone also have any question? Please let me know, or you can put it in the chat. But if that is the case, you might just have to call it a day. Like I mentioned, go ahead, lock in your spot, all right, with just 50K. All right, a lot of us got salaries this week. Please plan for 2026. You don't want to come and start drafting New Year resolution, all right? Whereas you'd have gotten, 2 months of, full stack skills. all right, November and December, and in January, you are applying to jobs already. Your new year resolution should now be, how many more jobs can I apply to today, and not having to learn any skill again. It's just to apply to jobs. All right, I think I'll call it a day here. Make a transfer of 50,000 naira, and you can send your payment details to hello@ustackschool.com. All right, and we'll see you in November 8th. All right, thank you, Jedida, for the time. I really do appreciate you for going all out. I really enjoyed the session myself, and God bless everyone of us. Cheers, everybody, and good night.